Good evening.
Yep.
It's also very much still morning.
It's very morning right now for us.
11:45 a.m.
Okay, almost afternoon for us.
Still morning for the next 15.
But yeah, so this is our 4th episode, I believe.
Girl, I don't know anymore.
I believe it's the 4th.
It's one of them.
And this might be a little shorter, but I'm not really sure because we actually started early.
Wait, that's true.
Considering I have to be somewhere in an hour and 15 minutes.
Samesies.
But yeah, so this is, I believe, episode 4. And I told Jess to pick the topic because I've technically picked the last 2 topics. And she's telling me it's a surprise, so I'm concerned it's probably Grey's Anatomy related or something.
Actually.
It's not.
It's
That's
better than that.
Scary to me.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to talk about it now?
Yeah. Remember how the last episode I said I want you to talk about your exes? Today's the day.
And here they all are. No.
Come on in, folks.
Dude, it's St. Patrick's Day. You can't do this to an Irish.
Womp.
Ugh.
Aren't you Italian?
I'm also Irish and Italian.
And Portuguese.
I'm mostly Irish, actually. I'm like 37%.
Interesting.
While the other ones are like 4, 3, 6% maybe. Yeah, but you can't do that to me. It's one of my days. I have 2 days this week. You cannot do this to me on one of my days.
What's the other one?
Wednesday is St. Joseph's Day, which is the Italian
Oh my
saint.
word. You see what I mean?
What do you mean?
Exactly.
It's not my fault that I'm
not
like...
my fault.
It's not my fault that I'm like 6 different nationalities.
That sounds like a personal problem.
There's no Russia. Is there a Russia Day? Or like a Saint
Girl,
Russian Vladimir Putin
Do
Day?
you think I pay attention to that?
Do you guys... does Russia... They must celebrate his birthday, right? Vladimir
I have
Putin?
no idea.
What?
I don't pay attention to that.
Or the Ukraine? Who's the guy that
Zelensky?
is finally stepping down from whatever? Did you
Oh.
see that?
Huh.
So he apparently met at the White House. And after like a stern talking to or whatever...
Did you not see that?
I didn't...
Zelensky and Trump?
I didn't see it,
Dude,
but
that
I read an
rough.
article after the fact, and he was like, "Okay, I'll step down. Like not step down, but like I'll back off." But wasn't Russia the one that started the war? So I don't know why.
That's why it's so fucking stupid. Let me give you a rundown.
I
things super
forgot
quick.
that Trump and Putin are butt buddies.
Right, exactly. Anyways, the rundown of that whole situation: Zelensky went to meet with Trump to negotiate peace and blah blah. Trump decided that he didn't want peace when obviously he clearly does. He wasn't the one that started the war to begin with. And J.D. Vance was saying how he wasn't appreciative enough of the U.S. Mind you, he's been thinking the U.S. every 5 seconds because it's the U.S. You kind of have to do that because Trump. Duh. And they also pointed out his choice of outfit because he was in like the military stuff that Ukrainians wear because his country's at war.
Tracksuit. Oh,
it wasn't a tracksuit. No, it was like the. I don't
sorry,
know
I've
what
just
it's
seen a
called, but
bunch
it's
of
the
photos of
military
Putin
stuff.
in like an Adidas tracksuit.
Literally, like when was the last? It's a whole thing. Anyways,
Not that
so
he's a man
complained
after
about-
my heart, but I am an Adidas girly, so he's a little bit of a man of my heart, just because, you know. Logo.
So, anyways, complained about his outfit. Complained that he hadn't been thanking them enough. And Zelensky was not backing down. He was like, they said something about how without the U.S.'s help, the war would be done in 3 days. And he's like, I've heard all this from Putin before. Yeah. And so on and so forth. So basically, by the end of it, they did not have their joint press conference, and Trump posted to his Truth Social page that that Zelensky's not ready for peace talks, and yada yada, and to come back when he's ready and whatever. But if you watch the video of that, it was absolutely atrocious. Like, if you are proud of that, you should be embarrassed.
I would say that I should watch it, and I'm gonna watch it, but realistically, I don't
Probably
care
won't.
about the news. I really don't.
Yeah.
Unless if it has something to do with what I care about, like Meryl Streep and Martin Short making it official. They've been dating for over a year, and they just came out being like, yeah, we're dating.
Love.
My mom had it right. Did you saw that, right? That I was like, my gosh, she loves gossip and everything. And I was like, let's not assume. They finally said that they've been dating for over a year. That's my type of news that I pay attention to.
Yeah, I know.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I know.
No, before then.
I don't remember that.
Don't remember what?
The gossip thing that you just said.
That when I initially my mom had seen like rumors of them dating because they went to the Golden Globes together. They went to, I think, a different award show together. And then finally the SNL 50 special, he was doing something in the audience, like, and whatever, and they were calling to whoever was on stage at the time, and she was sitting next to him. And my mom was like, they're dating, secret lovers, secret lovers. And I was like, it's not secret if people are assuming that they are. Which at first they did deny it months back when people were first bringing it up. They did deny it. Good yawn.
Thank you.
But they had denied it, but then finally just like last week, like 4 or 5 days ago while we were home, they were like, yep, we've been dating for over a year.
Love.
That is the political news that I will watch. Meryl Streep and Martin Short. And it's really funny because they're in a TV show together, Only Murders in the Building, that my mom and I both watch. And so if they had started dating for over a year, because they just started production on season 5 now, the end of season 4, the last episode is their wedding. The characters. So that means that they were dating, playing a married couple, or getting married. Like that, I think that was funny. I think it was crazy.
Ooh, the dumpster truck is here.
Oh, remember when we were watching this man struggle last week?
Yeah, that was kind of funny. Not last week, it was definitely a couple weeks ago.
Or 2 weeks ago, yeah, we weren't here. But, so, your topic.
Your exes. I think we should start from the very beginning because it gets worse and worse by the end.
So we're starting from the very beginning, as in, like, my first boyfriend, quote unquote, that was in kindergarten.
Yep.
Actually,
No, the ones you actually count as like you kind of dated at least.
I had a boyfriend for 13 months. That's currently my longest one. That was from the end of 7th grade into 8th grade. I think. Nope, I'm lying to myself. That was 8th grade to 9th grade. And then in November of my freshman year, I broke up with him.
Why is that?
Huh?
Why is that?
Because I didn't love him.
Fair.
It's like a long story.
We got time.
He, great guy, super sweet. He was like my best friend all through elementary school. Moved away.
Damn.
Because his dad got remarried and he living with his dad. So he moved to a different city. Came back for some reason. Don't know why. He wasn't supposed to be going to school at my middle school, but he did for some reason. I don't know. Don't remember why. And then, so we started dating. Because I was like, oh, he's a great guy, whatever. He was trying everything in elementary school to try to get with me, apparently. Warning for everybody, I'm the most oblivious person, and you will hear it from some of these relationships.
Correct.
Especially when we get to the most recent one. I'm very oblivious. So yeah. Anyways, so he was, he made a song in 5th grade because we were doing the colonial times. And so he made a song about corn husk dolls, and it was, whatever. And it was super cool. He's a super nice guy. And then we actually dated. So I was like, oh yeah, no, he's cute. And I've been really close with him. Like, I also some people that I tend to grow close to, I kind of get crushes on. Don't look at me like that. Not a relationship. We're not going to talk about it. Not in this episode. But yeah, so like, certain crushes or whatever. So I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. First of all, we're 13, 14 years old. He said the L word too soon. And then because felt bad. This is where my guilt comes in. This relationship was where it caused me to become a very, like, guilt-ridden person when it comes to relationships and stuff like this. So I said it back to him because I felt bad not saying it. And then I ended up being with him for another 7 or 8 or 9 months until I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm leading him on. And then he was really heartbroken. Safe to say, I broke up with him probably in the worst way possible. Over a phone call.
I mean, better than text, but...
Phone call, but he was at his friend's house.
Oh. That's brutal.
And so yeah, he wasn't okay. And then I remember if I texted him to see how he was or something. I don't think I did. I think like days later he sent me this long paragraph about like, I thought we were the one, like I wanted to marry you, blah 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 blah, stuff like that. And then he said whatever the date was, like November 10th at 5:37 p.m. And at first I didn't realize what that meant. That was the exact date and time that I broke up with him.
Ooh.
Over the phone. Which even my mom was like, okay, that's a little much. Anyways, fast forward from that relationship to 4 years later, and I'm working at that job. And guess who starts working there?
Ooh.
Which we had been working there together for about, I think, a year and a half, 2 years, until I finally left the job. I'm assuming he's still there. I don't know. At first it was awkward, obviously, because I was like, this whole situation, bad. But then I was like, and, you know, we just worked professionally together, and that was fine. And I feel bad still. I always will feel bad. But I'm assuming he's over it. It's been like 6 or 7 years.
You're also children, so hopefully it wasn't too bad.
I think he had a girlfriend after me at one point that I know, but
Nice.
I don't know. Yeah, but I hope he does well because, like I said, he was like my best friend growing up, and I never there was no bad blood in it. He just didn't take it well. And I had to talk to my therapist about not being as guilt-ridden with stuff like that. I think that's that relationship.
Yep. Next.
When I tell you I was low-key like a little dating slut in like elementary, middle school, yeah, I had a lot of boyfriends, whatever. I never had a girlfriend until college, but boyfriends definitely. I was like, this guy. And then like 3 weeks later, this guy. And then it was bad.
You know, that actually kind of tracks. Based on your...
What does that track?
Based on how you are.
What do you mean? What?
We'll get to it.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but okay. I'm somehow less scared than I was when you weren't telling me the topic. But next one was, I think, yeah, so what was my next relationship after that?
I don't know. I just remembered the one that you had during COVID before college.
There was one in between that. There was one in sophomore year of high school that I dated. It was my best friend at the time's like good friend who had lived in Australia for a year.
Ooh.
Was that before or after we started dating? I don't remember. I mean, he was fine. He was very nerdy. And yeah, it was awkward because he thought that making out was just kissing. But I'm sure that you're well aware making out has tongue and other things involved. So he just kept trying to, I don't know. I think he was the one or one of the guys that have tried to like consume my whole mouth when he tried to kiss me. He was fine. It was, yeah. And then I broke up with him. There's going to be a pattern here where I break up with a lot of men. And then I realized that I was like more than just kind of bisexual. I was very much into women. But anyway, so I broke up with him. And like, I think it was almost the same thing as the last one where he like was kind of heartbroken, but
She's a player.
I don't remember. Yeah, I kind of was. Like I told you, I was a slut growing up. Like elementary type of slut. But then, so that one was like smaller though. That wasn't that big of a deal. I think it was 6 months maybe. I don't remember. Remember one time I went ice skating with him. And actually, that's when I broke my mom's ice skates because she had them for like 30 or 40 years.
Damn.
And so she was like, just wear mine. And they broke 5 minutes into us ice skating. And instead of me using the $5 or whatever bucks that I had left to go rent out another pair of skates, I bought cheese fries instead.
Honestly,
that tracks.
That does track.
That tracks
Very
for me.
Tracks.
So we just sat there instead and waited until like my mom picked me up or something.
Love.
Isn't that great? But yeah, that one was shorter. That one wasn't that as,
Not as entertaining.
The next one I think is the COVID one,
Mm-hmm.
where, oh, by the way, I don't know if I've told you this, but, which I'll get to in a second with where this goes with the next relationship. There are some, like, relationships or whatever that I have made a, like, not a name, oh, God, how do I explain this? I have put, like, a song to it.
Oh, boy.
So, this next one, COVID, we start dating right before. Like, we met New Year's Eve 2019. Because my family always hosts a New Year's party. And 2 of my friends from high school who knew him because they did track with him, they, like, kind of set me up with him. And then we were supposed to go on, like, a little date either a day or 2 afterwards. It was either New Year's the day after. And they were like, just have him come here. So then they were texting him being like, just come here now. This is the address, whatever. Which was fine. It was weird. Kind of did not like that. Looking back at it, I kind of wish that I didn't have, my friends to, like, kind of taint the first meeting with him. But anyways, whatever. Fine. Cool. I went to his, because I was a sophomore?
Junior?
No. Junior.
2019?
Yep. No, I was a junior. He was a senior in high school. Yeah, thank you. Oh, my God. My mom watches these kind of, so I probably shouldn't do that.
What are her thoughts so far?
She's only watched about half of the first episode and went, Jesus, these are long. And I was like, I'm sorry. That usually podcasts are like an hour or 2. But yeah, so we started, so I went to his, like, winter ball dance or whatever, his, like, high school whatever. And then we started dating in February. Like, literally, I think, like, we started dating, like, a week or 2 before the lockdown happened. Because the lockdown happened mid-March, which, by the way, I forgot to mention. Our last episode that just went out on Thursday, that was the 5-year anniversary of COVID.
So sorry
like
for
the
your
COVID
loss.
lockdown. Isn't that crazy?
Did I tell you what happened at my school right around that time? Lockdown. So my principal had gone to France the weekend prior to everything
Your
shutting
principal
down.
gave it to you guys.
Yeah, almost. And the day before, so March 12th, France became a level 3 country or whatever it is, where it's like a high risk. So obviously we were like, oh, but the best thing is that they didn't tell us that she had gone to France until Monday, like, afternoon, well after the school day was done and everything. So most of us had, like, passed her in the hallway and whatever. And at the time, nobody knew, like, how it was transmitted, how dangerous it was, this and that and yada yada. So we were all like, what is happening?
Dude, we could have an episode alone on COVID because
We really honestly
stories.
could. Yeah.
From what you told me the first time you got COVID, and then the time that when we lived together you got COVID, that's a whole 40-minute episode on its own.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, so we started dating, like, I think 2 weeks before COVID happened, because 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe, because my school it was March 13th. It was a Friday the 13th, where they were like, all right, no, 2 weeks of school, blah, blah, blah. Yep. And then the world shut down.
Yep. Fun fact, one of the history teachers at my school, he was like, oh, we are not coming back. So he had everything planned out to be, like, on Zoom for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. But yeah, so we started dating in lockdown, which, like, you couldn't really do anything. We went to, like, we had a Dairy Queen. I ate a lot of Dairy Queen that summer.
As you should. Are we still on for Dairy Queen on Thursday?
When the hell were we supposed to do that?
Free Dairy Queen.
Is it free ice cone?
Yes. Thursday.
Time, depending.
Whenever.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ate a lot of Dairy Queen. And we kind of just drove around. We went to, Rhode Island has a Rocky Point, which used to be an amusement park. And now it's just like a state park. So we would go there, sit by there. It's supposed to be locked off, but oops, a lot of people went there to do things. We didn't do anything crazy like that. He did teach me how to use tongue. Let's just say, Mom, you might want to plug your ears for this section, actually. We did a lot of things that were, like,
scandalous.
frisky a little bit. Like, hickeys. And, yeah, we would just make out in his, like, hot tub a lot. And it was, like, even though I'm like, ugh, men, that was... Granted, besides like the stuff I'll get to in a second, it was definitely the like time for me to not experiment, but like
kind of
get more
experience?
into that. Yeah, experience. Get more knowledge of like making out, tongue, hickeys, stuff like that.
And I don't like any of it.
You don't?
You don't.
I don't what?
You don't like tongue.
I don't like tongue because a girl my freshman year tried shoving her tongue down my throat when my teeth were closed, and then I told her no tongue, and she continued to do it.
Of high school or college?
High school. Yeah, I don't know. It was just more like for me to experience things that like with somebody who had the experience, but also like I don't know, whatever. However, this portion of the thing turned a little sour when the fact that man would never let me leave, because he always picked me up from my house and drove me to his house, and he would never let me leave unless I tried to unless if I would like kiss him for a bit or whatever. He told me literally every day that he wanted to have sex with me. Like, there was just some weird things. It's fine. I kept with him for a little longer than I should have because his mom was hot. Let's be honest. If you saw her,
remember the story
if
too.
you saw her, I let her hit that. But yeah, it's gonna be a really bad episode for my mom to listen to. I might tell her not to.
What can I do?
Warning: if you are my mother, please do not listen to this episode. But yeah, no, it was a time for me to experiment, but also it went a little too far. And at first, he had broken up with me.
Oh.
He broke up with me because it was his senior year. COVID was happening. He had to start thinking about college and where he wanted to go and what he wanted to do. And he had some other family stuff that he had their family, quote unquote, family stuff that was going on. And then 2 weeks later, he was like, we should be together again. I was like, what happened to those things? He's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean, whatever?
He wanted to have sex.
Oh, absolutely. Because we were in his hot tub. Because he kept inviting me to his hot tub, which, don't get me wrong, I love a good hot tub. But that man was... anyways, so, COVID happened. Was, like I said, good,
I forgot that
bad.
was this past year.
Yeah. It
You said
hasn't
that
even
and
been
that just now
hasn't
clicked.
even been a full year since I went to Ireland.
Yeah. That's
Anyways. Next relationship after that. I'll say this just right now. There was a friend of mine who we were like best friends through like 2.5 years of high school that I had a massive crush on. And she had a crush on me. We liked each other. We admitted it to each other like sophomore year. Senior year rolls by. We're like best friends now. We both admitted to each other again to make sure that we both still liked each other. But let's just say she hadn't told her parents yet. Because, you know, Catholic high school. And especially the father is very Catholic, low-key, homophobic a little bit. Whatever. I wait. I waited like 3 months. She finally told her parents. And then a week later, I find out that she's been talking to another girl.
Damn.
But yeah, so I waited around for basically 3 years for this girl. Just for her to say she liked me still. And then start dating another girl.
Love.
Brought the girl to prom.
Oh.
The girl followed me on Instagram, and at first I didn't know who it was, and then I realized who it was. Talk about heartbreak. That was my first heartbreak. Was that. And that wasn't even a relationship. It was crazy. Oh yeah, COVID. The heartbreak song or whatever. So, I have a thing where some of my past relationships, whatever, I like associate a song that I've heard to the relationship. COVID relationship, Arcade by Duncan Lawrence, because it was kind of like we dated, didn't date again, kind of did stuff, didn't do stuff. Loving You is like a losing game. Anyways, the first big one, that like really long relationship that I had with my friend from elementary school, Break Even by The Script, but that's more so on from his point of view. It's a long story. I have this thing. I have it for a couple other relationships.
What's mine?
What makes you think you have one? We never
Do
dated.
I not have one?
We never dated.
But you had a crush on me.
Okay. But I said it's for relationships. Dude, so this coffee's really good. Brown sugar cinnamon latte is crazy. It's good. It's a little too sweet for me, but honestly, it could be worse. But yeah, so those relationships have songs. And I didn't have anything for the rest of high school. I don't think I didn't date anybody until sophomore year, right? So I went I think 3.5, 4 years without a relationship.
I think you're overselling that.
That's an achievement for me right there.
I think it was maybe 3 years.
What do you mean?
Because beginning of COVID, so that was...
And it ended
2020.
It ended at the, in August or whatever, going into senior year.
So then you went senior year without anything, freshman year without anything, and then half of sophomore
Most of sophomore year. We didn't... That relationship didn't start until end of March. So that's 3/4 of the year.
That's 7 months of the year.
What do you mean?
From August to March is 7 months.
Yeah, but it was after spring break, so it was 3/4 of the school year.
It was 3/4 of the school year, but the year.
Whatever.
Can you
That's
tell we like
not
arguing?
Important.
Anyways.
Oh my God, you
that's
sound
not
like
the
my
point.
mom. I'm just kidding.
I'll take your mom over my mom.
I think anyone would take my mom over your mom. They actually listen to it. I'm sure your man would too.
After the end of this, we should talk about spring break because I have some stories.
Oh God. Okay. But yeah, so then I didn't have any relationships until, like I said, late March. Oh God. My first female relationship.
Fun fact, the person this was with was my boyfriend's bestie, and they're the ones that set us up.
Mostly her. She
Mostly
set
her,
you guys up.
but you a little bit
I
too.
kind of jokingly said it at first, but then I was like, no.
And here we are.
Ugh. I don't want to talk about this. Like I said, this could be its own episode. I don't have a problem with her in the sense that after we broke up, I thought it was fine, mutual, whatever, to then find out that she was lying to me and causing rumors. It was not a good relationship. It was no communication, time and time again. But yeah, the relationship was just... it was fine. I don't know.
Was it?
It was fine at the beginning. Didn't even last 3 months. And the worst part about it was that after we broke up, she was gonna come to my house over the summer for my family's 4th of July party, and then decided that after we broke up, because that wasn't enough, that she still was coming.
Technically, you guys were on a break. Not fully
No.
broken up.
We had broken.
I thought you were on a break.
No, we broken. The break only lasted 2 weeks. And then I saw no improvement from her, so then I broke
No,
off.
because
Yes.
you guys had just gone on your break, and then she was still coming down to your house, and then after that,
Which I was fine with.
you guys fully broke
and
up.
then no. We were broken up when she came down. Yes. Because I had to preface my mom being like, we broke up, but she's still coming. She's like, okay.
Wait, so what was going on then that you guys called and then fully broke it off, and that's when she told you that she was talking
What do you mean she was talking? Oh, yeah. So basically, it only lasted, we didn't even do the 3 months or whatever. Fine. Cool. I visited her at her place over the summer or whatever, because we went to, is that Portland?
Yeah, Portland Mall.
We went there. And so that's when she gave me the preemptive 3-month gift.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave it to me before we, had it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, maybe a month later was when, month and a half later, she was coming to visit me for the 4th of July. Except, like,
I feel like
no,
one of our times
because
is so skewed.
no, because remember, we went to her place for Portland. We were alone.
I know.
And when I walked in the door, she was pretending to be asleep.
I remember.
That's when I had the I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I had the I'm done. Because she was watching Stranger Things for like the 5th time.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, so then while we could have been cuddling on the couch or doing other things, whatever, we had the house to ourselves, she decided to pretend to be asleep because she didn't know how to deal with school and her personal life being together. And then
This was like summer break.
I tried cuddling with her. No, it was not. No, it was not. It was the summer.
That's what I'm saying. It was summer break.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then months later, she was going to mine. But then
I
she
feel like-
pretended... No, trust me. Trust me.
Did you visit her more than once then?
No.
Because when we went to the Portland Mall, it was mid-June.
So then it was a month before when she came to visit me.
Yeah.
Whatever. But that moment when she pretended to be asleep and then wasn't trying to cuddle me on the couch or anything because she was too focused on watching Stranger Things again.
Hello.
That was it for me. I was done. We weren't doing anything. We could have done, I don't know, we could have smoked some weed or something. We could have done something like the two of us had the house to ourselves for like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And even like when we were like, because we shared the same bed, she didn't even try to do anything. She was too focused on watching a movie to go to sleep. It was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that. I was like, I'm done. I'm like, but like, because I didn't guilt again. I didn't want to totally break it off. I was like, maybe I'll just give her a chance. We can whatever. So I did the break.
Mm-hmm.
The break lasted 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then since I'd seen zero improvement from her, I called her again and I said, I'm done. And then she's like, okay, but can I still come? Because I don't want to tell my mom that I'm home like an extra day or whatever, just to not go to Rhode Island. Sure, I guess. That's weird, though. You're going to meet my whole family after we just broke up? But yeah.
So what was the call that was later in that month?
Well, that was when I broke up with her. Was it?
I'm telling you, I don't think you guys
No,
fully
it was
broke it off.
No, it was during
at that point.
It was when I was calling her to break it off that during our break we weren't talking bad about each other. That's what it was. Which I wasn't. Because I was respecting her space. I was hoping she was respecting mine, and she was talking about me. Even though she claims she never would. Because her friends are my friends. They weren't really, though. I hung around with them because I was with her. So that's a whole messy breakup. Not even messy breakup. It was just messy situation that honestly I should have never gone in. So,
but you live and you learn. You know what my favorite part about that was?
Is that your relationship flourished?
No.
Oh.
That you guys lived together after that.
I never said it was smart. Well, it's because I had gotten in a spat with you and I was like, no, because I can't live with you guys and be friends with you. Like I've learned that
I was in the same boat.
I've learned that I cannot live with friends because it's gonna ruin our relationship. So I was like, no. So and I knew that they were having an opening in their place.
Right.
So it was stupid of me, maybe, but at least we had our own rooms. So I was just like, can I please? And she was like, yes.
Yeah, that was
Because
my
she
favorite part.
probably would have still acted the same even if we weren't living together. But whatever. But yeah, that's I don't even want to remember most of the other stuff. Let's be honest. If I haven't said it, it's because I either blacked it out or don't want to talk about it.
Valid.
So, but yeah, what else was there? That relationship, and then I had.
Can I add in my 2 cents
Oh,
from that
God.
relationship?
Jesus Christ.
Obviously, just an outsider looking in, but there was so much lack of communication. It was wild because obviously, I mean, I was mostly hearing things from you, but then after I started dating my boyfriend, and I was kind of also getting the other side of it a little bit, I was like, something's like it just was never adding up. If that makes sense, like.
I am curious. If you remember any of that stuff, I'm curious off this that we should talk about it and see what you might have told me before, anyways. But
I might have. I don't remember.
I'm curious to see how wrong she was because she was wrong on
The
everything.
gist of it, for the most part, was that she was kind of making you out to be like the one that wasn't communicating. Which, to be fair, like I said, I heard
I'm not the best at it, but
things from both sides, and there were times where you weren't the greatest at communicating. But then she also wasn't taking accountability for her own lack of communication. And I was kind of like, respectfully.
yeah, because like I knew that there were times where I wasn't a great communicator, even in other relationships I've been in. I'm not the best at communicating, but also a whoop to your shit.
Right, takes 2 to tango.
I never want to tango with her. She's not coordinated enough. But yeah, so that was that relationship. And then I had the one
that lasted
3 weeks.
Yeah. He is such a sweetheart.
He's so nice. I felt so bad.
Mm-hmm.
It
that was mostly Bailey realized she doesn't like men. But now she kind of likes men again.
It's not that I don't like men. I think I went on a bout where I liked a man, and then I went back to women again, and now I'm back to man.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm always here for a nice 50-year-old celebrity actress. I'm always here for that. That could be a whole episode on just the one that I'm obsessed with now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I mean, super sweet guy. Bought me alcohol from Disney.
I do remember
as a gift.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was cool.
Icon.
But yeah, I don't know. I just like, I don't know. It wasn't right. Like it was there. He was super sweet. Gave me everything I wanted. But then I felt wrong being in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know he's with a girl now, and he seems really happy. So
They're so cute.
I'm happy for
10
him.
out of 10.
But yeah, and then I went back, and now we got to my most recent relationship.
Can I just say, I've been telling her since the beginning. I was like, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. Respectfully. Which, to be fair, in the very, very beginning, before I learned all the things that you told me, a part of me was like, well, maybe this and maybe that, because I like to look at the positive side of things. And
you positive? That's
the
crazy.
benefit of the doubt.
That's a lie.
I do.
You are positive?
Whenever some bad person comes along, I'm like, well, maybe they're not that bad. And then I realize that they are actually that bad. It doesn't always take a very long time, but I was the person. So part of it was something about with her bestie. And I was like, well, maybe this is what she needs to be normal and blah, 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 blah. And then I realized that then I was told that they have only been besties for like a couple years and how it started and all that. And I was like, well, maybe that's not the greatest then. But in conclusion, I'm just saying, after I had learned all the things I had learned, I've been saying for a hot minute now that it's a red flag.
All I'm going to say about this relationship, just because it's so recent and in case if anyone hears this, I never have and never will have an ill intent on them.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I love them.
Mm-hmm.
I care enough about them. Even though we clearly aren't friends anymore, which sucks. I thought we were going to be able to be, like, at least civil.
Mm-hmm.
But.
No.
Nothing.
Damn. I can't say I'm surprised, if I'm being honest, though.
I wish we did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about this on my 40-minute cry yesterday on my drive back. That maybe, because I jump into relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And that maybe if I just became more friends with them, that would be fine. We'd have a stronger foundation. And that, you know, we could be friends again. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It happens. I'm graduating. Lives across the country. It's not going to work. I thought it was meant to be. And I was wrong. So, hurts to admit it, but Mm. And now men. Let's
Can
talk about your
I say the
relationships.
one thing that pissed me off the most about that relationship too? Going back to the bestie. At one point, Bailey had brought up how she feels like she was talking to the bestie more, prioritizing the bestie more, whatever. And instead of being like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, what can I do to make you feel more prioritized or something like that, which you would expect from a partner, she said, oh, are you jealous or something?
You're jealous.
That pissed me the fuck off. I was like, you're joking.
And
because if
I
was in a
can
relationship
vividly
like that,
remember how that was
I would not
said,
be in that
and it
relationship
honestly
anymore.
still stings even though we're not dating. It does.
That was wild.
You're jealous.
Anywho, what do you want to talk about?
Your relationships.
My relationship. Ships or ship?
Ships. You've had a few.
Kind of. The first one,
Didn't you like get cheated on or whatever by the other two?
emotionally cheated on. Yes, I guess you could call it that.
Yeah, you're dramatic.
I kind of refused to call it that for a long time, and then the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it kind of was that. I also had like a kindergarten boyfriend, but we're not kind of that either. So end of 8th grade into that summer, I was kind of a relationship with this guy. He and I kind of started talking like in the spring, and I guess I'm also very oblivious, so he had kind of been flirting with me unbeknownst to me for a hot minute there, and I didn't realize that was actually what was happening until I was at the theater play thing that we were rehearsing for, and then one of the girls was like, hey, you know, how do you feel about him? And I was like, oh, I mean, he's nice, I don't know. And they're like, he likes you. And I was like, huh? Very oblivious. And mind you, he was like in my math class. This was in middle school. We had you went to all your classes with your class, but then for math class you got split up depending on your math level. So he and I were in the same math level.
Were you smart?
Hell yeah. I had a fucking Russian math tutor. What do you think?
I don't know what that means.
To put a long story short,
Russian's good at math?
To put a long story short, I started practicing for the SATs in middle school.
That just made my stomach crawl.
Yeah. The SATs that I never took, by the way.
Yeah, me
because
neither.
of COVID.
Because they were all optional. All my colleges
Yep,
were optional.
Same.
I never had to worry about it.
Yep.
I did worse on the because you did the PSATs in
Mhm.
high school, like sophomore, junior year, or whatever.
Mhm.
The first time I took it sophomore year, I did like pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Don't remember the score. Don't ask me. Junior year when I took it the second time, I did worse, like by
Same.
600 or something.
Literally same.
I was like,
I got an 1180 the first time I took it, and mind you, they were like, "Oh, you should study some." I didn't study a hair.
I think
I showed up and took it.
I might have done. I thought it was 1150, but that might have been my second time. I think the first time I did was like, no, not 16. Jesus Christ, that's not possible. No, maybe so. The first time was 1150, and the second time was like 1110, or no, 1010 or something like that.
Yeah, mine.
Like I did
think
way worse.
was a
I was like-
1070.
I was like, maybe it's a good thing I didn't take the SATs.
Yeah, honestly.
Now I have to take
very
the
glad about it.
LSAT though. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'm so
cry.
sorry.
Oh my
My
god.
condolences.
And the worst part of the LSAT, there's a whole section to comprehension.
Ooh.
Hey Jess, I literally had to stay in during recess sometimes with my third grade teacher because of my comprehension issues. I'm so like, when I joke about being illiterate,
Mhm.
my ADHD is so bad that I have to reread something like 3-4 times before I can even start to understand half of the sentence.
Love.
That's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you only get like 35 minutes
Right.
in a section. And there's like 20 something questions.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's A, B, C questions too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm screwed for
Love
that
it.
section.
Love it. You should take that thing a few times.
I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
If I ever have time. I was going to
That's
do it
true.
over break and then I'm going to take a practice test.
Oop.
Anyways. But yeah. What time is it?
We stopped down.
Okay.
Anywho.
Oh, okay.
So, we were in this Russian math class. We were in this regular math class together.
No, you're Russian.
It was, I think, the advanced one for our grade, because there was the advanced one, the regular one, and then the one for those that were not the greatest at math, to put it nicely. Which either one was fine. Like you
Is
still
this
got
middle
all the
school or
credits
is
for it.
this-
Yeah, this is middle school. I also, you didn't get extra credit for it, like if you did do the more advanced one. So that was
Well, no, you
interesting,
wouldn't.
but-
You would just get the normal credits.
Right.
It's just because you are more advanced in
Yeah.
math than other people are.
Yeah.
Same thing with me in like high school. Actually, that's a lie. I did it in middle school too, because I ended up taking Algebra 1 8th grade. 8th grade? 7th grade. I think I took algebra 1 in 7th grade. No, it had to have been 8th grade.
Yeah, I had to.
I took
8th grade 'cause
pre-algebra
that's what I
7th
did
grade
too.
and algebra 1 in 8th grade.
Mhm.
When other people were taking pre-algebra 8th grade and common whatever. I don't remember. It was
Yeah.
public school. Who
We
cares?
had the option. So if we had that advanced math class in 8th grade, we had the option of either taking algebra 1 again, basically, or moving straight to geometry. We also had the option of doing geometry and then doing like a half year of algebra 1. That's what I wanted to do because I was like, well, I don't want to forget everything by the time I get to algebra 2. I didn't forget a single thing. I was so boring. But anyways,
Freshman year, I took geometry, and let me tell you, I love trigonometry. Sine, cosine,
Ooh.
tangent, SOHCAHTOA. It's my favorite thing from math is SOHCAHTOA.
I hated geometry with a
Except I
passion.
can't do the negatives, the opposites of that. I can't remember those.
I hated
Secant.
I think maybe if I actually paid attention
Tangerine.
to that class,
That's
maybe
not
I would
it,
have done
but-
better, but I was just so done with math,
Tangerine.
and I did not pay attention.
No,
to
I
it.
don't remember what.
Any hoops. Back to my failed relationships. So
I forgot that was the topic. We get so off topics.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's your ADHD that I just
My
feed.
comprehensive issue, ADHD looking at that
Mhm.
just,
Yep.
my squirrel. I'm really a friggin' squirrel, bro.
So anyways, once I realized that this guy liked me, I was like, you know, actually, he is super nice. He's sweet. He's funny. Yada, yada. So I'm like, maybe I should entertain this. I told my family-ish, my mom, my aunt pretty much, that I kind of liked him and that I think we were like thinking of going to the dance together or whatever. And my family was adamantly against him, not for like a
Oh.
reason that makes sense.
They
like,
knew
Oh,
deep down.
he's a bad person or whatever. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, just in case.
No.
You have to figure it
You
out.
know how it's like, oh, I don't care. I'm not going to pay attention to you.
No, not you, but I mean like
Oh.
the general
Um,
public.
But it's like those like you see like in movies or whatever where it's like, I don't like him, there's a bad reason, but you make up stupid excuses, anything dumb that's just like,
Mhm.
no,
Yeah,
no,
so
no,
it
no,
wasn't
no.
that either. It was like a certain characteristic of his that he can't change because that's how he's born. Yeah, so my mom specifically, but also my aunt a little
Yeah,
bit,
your
was
mom would-
adamantly against it. She claims that she wouldn't be now. I'm not sure how
Your
I feel
mom
about
would
that.
be
but
though, low
yeah,
key. Let's be honest.
yeah. So we pretty much dated in secret the whole time. She still doesn't know. Fun fact. Surprise. So we were, talking, doing our thing. We officially, became boyfriend, girlfriend, however you want to call it, mid-June-ish, around my mom's birthday, fun fact. And then he was my first kiss. We mostly hung out at our mutual friend's place because he
Wait,
lived
all
on
of
the
you were
other-
born in June?
Yes. My mom is June 14th, my dad's June 26th, and my brother and I are June
Not
29th.
your mom being Flag Day.
Uh-huh. And Trump's birthday.
Ew.
Yeah. Extra
They're
gross.
meant to be.
They are meant to be. Why do you think she voted for him? Anyways, beside the point.
Did I tell
we
you
keep
that my
getting-
grandfather regrets
Yes.
voting for him?
I saw
God
the
is good.
post.
God is good.
Yeah, she unfortunately still thinks that he's great. So
She's not smart, so.
she's not. Anyways, if she ever finds this, it's gonna be really interesting. But anyways, so he and I are dating in secret, mostly at this mutual friend's place because he lives on the other side of town. My parents obviously don't know, so they're not going to drive me to his house. But he has a bike, so he bikes over to the mutual friend's house, and I walk over because I live literally right across the street from her. And, I mean, we all hang out together, but we also kind of try to do couple-y-ish stuff. Like, we kind of try to cuddle or whatever. It was kind of awkward. It was
Kind of.
rough.
Wait, how old were you?
This was right as I was turning 14.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's
So then
so cute of you.
we had gone wherever we went that year. I don't remember. This was end of 8th grade. We went on a little mini weekend trip or something like that, I think, or something. Either way, I think it was because I believe we went to Six Flags, and that's where the conversation happened. But anyways, so I get back, and the day that we see each other, he kisses me. It was my first kiss. I don't think it was his first kiss. And I'm, thrilled about it. The next day, I'm going to my grandma's. At the time, we didn't know how long I was going to be there because I usually spent my summers mostly at my grandma's. It ended up being about a week because cheer camp was starting the week after. But we didn't know that. So I got to my grandma's, and he's like, I have to tell you something. Over text. So this is what I'm saying. This is the worst part to...
Over text
This is the worst way to break up with somebody.
That is an advice for anybody. Do not do it over text.
Yes. If
you need to text them to be like, hey, can we meet in person?
Yeah.
Do that. Because that is worse.
Which, granted, I understand why he did it the way that he did it, because we were barely teenagers, and I was going to be in a different city for a good chunk of the summer, at least is what we thought at the time, and we were doing it in secret and yada yada. So anyways, basically he broke up with me. The best part was that it was for that mutual friend, which, granted, to be fair, they were like more compatible, and that's what he kind of said, because they were both morning people, they had the same interests, and so on and so forth. But obviously I was not too thrilled about it.
Do you still talk to this mutual friend?
I just went down for her engagement.
Oh, that was her?
It's her, yep. So I basically got over it in like 4 days, because we weren't together that long, and, you know, whatever. The best part is that they also only lasted for a little bit. They ended up breaking up, I think, in August. This happened in July, and they ended up breaking up in August because they were going to 2 different schools, and he didn't think their schedules would line up enough. And I was like, okay. So we broke up. They kind of got together. They kind of did their thing. And that was that. But, you know, that was an interesting first experience.
Speaking of engagements, I mean, we'll get to your current relationship, but...
You know what's really funny? That's what everybody kept asking while we were down there after the proposal.
I mean, you've only been together for... You're going to be approaching, what, 3 years? 2 years?
Approaching 2 years. We
so
have been dating for
need to
2 months less than the couple that just got engaged. Fun fact.
Yeah, so it's not like you need to.
We're not in a rush. I keep being like, you should get me a promise ring. He hasn't done that yet. But
I'll get you a promise ring.
Don't tell me it was a good time. But I'm not concerned about actually getting engaged. So anyways.
Can we get promise rings for each other?
That'd be really funny.
Bestie promise rings?
That'd be really funny.
For when you're rich and famous as a nurse.
I never want to talk to you again. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. You were the one that keeps saying that after college you're going to like fall off the face of the earth. Anyways.
Well, yeah, I was going to go and move out of my parents' house. But now that I have to go to law school, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. You're also besties with your parents now. A little concerning. My second relationship was mid-sophomore year. It started with when my other besties at the time, she was dating this guy, and because we're besties, I knew pretty much every single little thing about the relationship. And I was in a medical assistant class with this guy. So in my eyes, you want to be at least decent friends with your friends' partners, because when they get proposed, they can text you and be like, hey, you should come down.
No, so you can steal them.
Hell no. But also, if you can't even be friends with your partner's bestie, I feel like that's a red flag.
Well, yeah.
About the partner.
You don't have to be besties.
Right, you don't have to be besties, but if you can, at least.
Yeah, if you can, be around them for more than 2 hours, right, that's fine.
Right. You guys are a special
case. Can't with your... I can't.
You guys are a special
I can't. Case. I hope you know that if Riley asks me to come for your engagement, I'm going to say, as long as you're not the one proposing.
The way I can see you saying that, too.
The way that you think I'm joking.
I'm not. I don't think you're joking.
I'm not joking.
I fully can see you doing
I'll be the one. I'll push him out of the way, and I'll just promise ring. Oh, sorry. Even if I'm kneeling down, it's going to be straight up crossed. Wait, stand up. Stand up for a second. I need to see this. Okay, so I would be looking up at you for
He would be right around here.
He probably would be, yeah.
Anyways, so they were dating for, I think, 3 months and change. And like I said, up until that point, I knew pretty much everything about the relationship. I had become decent friends with this guy because we had the class together, and that was a pretty interactive class. So you kind of had to speak to everybody. And then all of a sudden, the Monday after Halloween, I remember it was yesterday, she texted me as I'm walking to school, and she's like, I broke up with him. And I'm like, back the up. What? Because I assumed we're besties. You would tell me if you're breaking up with him. No, she just flat out broke up with him. I was like, huh? Tell me all the details. I want to know what happened. So to put a long story short, I guess it was getting too much for her or whatever. And from the stories that I heard from her, she was the one initiating a lot of things. So I was like, that is a little interesting, but okay. So obviously I was consulting. Yes. Yep. She's pointing at herself. So I was consoling her, obviously, as the friend, as the bestie. I was kind of consoling him because we had become friends and whatever, and he was like in a spiral. It was rough. So flash forward to
You did not pull a Stevie Nicks.
I don't know what Stevie Nicks
So
did.
Stevie Nicks, her best friend was named Jenny. Way back in like the 80s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Her best friend Jenny
Mm-hmm.
had a husband.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot that his name was Cam, I think. They had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny, terminal cancer.
Oh.
Jenny dies. But because Stevie Nicks was there a lot
Mm-hmm.
with Jenny at the hospital and whatever, and was
Mhm.
there for the husband and the kid,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
she said that this is probably one of the biggest regrets of her life, I think, is that she, because they were both so emotional about the friend dying, they got married.
Mm-hmm.
Her and the husband.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't tell me that's like this situation. Are you joking? I called it. Jessica! I'm going to start
So,
calling you Stevie Nicks.
This happened, like I said, at the beginning of November. Flash forward to just after Thanksgiving. He texts me that he likes somebody, but he won't tell me who it is.
This happened to
But
me
then
too.
he sends a series of 6 texts and tells me to figure somewhere in those texts it says who it is, and I have to figure it out for myself. You think I'm clever enough to do that? I can never.
You can do
anything
math,
like
but you
that.
can't do puzzles?
Yeah. So the next morning he texts what the puzzle was, and it spells out it's you, and I'm like, because obviously my bestie had just been with him, so I was like, girl code, I can't do that. But what do? Obviously, I text my bestie because I still tell her everything, even if she doesn't tell me everything. So I'm like, dude, you will not believe what this man's just said to me. And without any prompt, she was like, get a girl, go for it, in those exact words. And I'm like, back the up, huh? You're supposed to be the one that's being like, that's crazy. Why would he do that? Not telling me to go for it. I was like, back up, huh? So anyways, I take the day to like think about it because I'm like, he was a pretty nice guy. He treated her well, yada yada. So like, I mean, I got all the permission I needed without even asking for it. So like, do I just go for it and try it? I was like, what's the worst that could happen? It was bad.
You're Stevie Nicks.
Stevie
You
Nicks.
are literally, you are Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm calling
Except
you that
the
now.
friend was still alive.
Well, yeah,
anyways.
but like breakup, death, either way, the relationship had ended
Yeah,
spontaneously.
pretty much. So I say, sure, why not? You should see your face. This is so funny.
Jessica.
Not the full name, docs. Do not do that on the podcast.
I just screamed that so loud in my head. When we get off of this, I have to scream your name so loud.
I thought I told you the story.
I don't think you told me like that. You just told me that I thought you said that both of them had left you for your best friend at the time.
Yeah, they did. Because that's not the end of the story.
Yes. I thought I was the girl.
So
I think
anyways,
you are the.
We kind of get together, work together for about 3.5 weeks. Now, for context, I'm very much the type of person that I'm not going to, like, tell you who you can and can't talk to and whatever, because that's a lot of work that I don't have the time for. And if I can't trust you to talk to somebody, why are we in a relationship? So, we were kind of together. We didn't really get to do much because, again, this was also in secret because I didn't want to, like, start a whole thing until we were solid, because everybody knew that they were dating and everybody knew that we were besties. And so most of our interactions were, like, after classes, before I had to go to rehearsal, or like before he got on the bus. Can you shut your mouth?
My best
so
friend says
3.5 weeks later, 3 weeks later, me and my bestie go to Six Flags, and on the way back, she takes my phone and she snaps him a little bit. And again, I really like could not care less. Like, that's not my problem. As long as you're doing whatever you're doing, I don't care. But then the few days leading up to this next part, they're both kind of being weird. Like asking if we're still besties, and if
he
we're
went
really
back to
besties.
her.
Yeah.
No way. There's no way. This
So
is
then-
ridiculous.
So then the night before it happened, he's like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to tell you what happens tomorrow. And I'm like, huh? But I'm starting to overthink because I overthink everything. But then I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to not overthink this
Jess,
one time. Because
Jess, stop. What type of telenovela are you on?
I'm telling you, bro.
What the?
So I'm like, so I start overthinking. I'm like, are they like, is he breaking up with me and is he going back to her? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop overthinking right here, right now, because I always overthink things, and 9 times out of 10 it doesn't happen. Guess what happened? The next day he breaks up with me, and he says that they're gonna get back together.
Jessica,
and I'm
you
like, so
just
you're telling me the one time I don't overthink is the one time that I should have been overthinking?
Jess, you Stevie next, and then you got Stevie next.
Yeah, pretty much.
What the? I'm dreaming, right? This can't be real. Oh my god.
And then the rest of that, to put a long story short, they never got back together, and he regretted breaking up with me, and he tried to get back together with me not once but twice.
Wait, whoa. We need to talk
And like
about
several
this.
months apart. Like one time was in January and one time was in August.
And I thought I was a
I'm a
Jessica,
slut.
you got men wrapped around your finger just like I
Yeah,
do.
We've drank my coffee, now she wants a high five.
Sorry, we got men wrapped around our finger. So now your current relationship,
My current
me.
relationship. Yeah.
Let's
mhm.
be honest.
Honestly.
We've
I
been
mean, we're
we've been
secretly in
dating
love
for
with
like
each other, right?
3 years.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact, our friendship started, and then I tried to set her up with my twin brother.
Stop! We're not talking about this
She
now.
had a
No.
crush on
We
me.
are not talking about this right
That's a story
now.
for a different day, but that was how that kind of went down. Anyways, my current relationship, her and her ex that had the longest story of they were together for less than 3 months, and then
It was the longest story, but it was the shortest relationship.
yeah. So while they were together, or actually, it didn't even start when you guys were together. It started while you guys were still talking.
No, I think we had just started dating.
Did you start dating at the end of March?
Yeah.
But you guys started like putting in our heads at the beginning of March.
Yeah, but you guys didn't make it
We didn't
official
get it
until
like,
May.
right?
But you guys were like together.
But you started
kind of
insinuating that
seriously.
we should.
You were together seriously. You just
Anyways,
didn't
beside
label
the point. So, they were together. They were like, "Hey, I have a single bestie. You have a single bestie. They should get together." The issue was that I thought was very emotionally unavailable at the time because he had just broken up with his girlfriend of 2 years, like mid-January, and this all started in like the beginning of March. And I was like, respectfully, I don't have time to baby a man through a breakup. That's not my problem.
Well, he kept saying he wasn't ready, and then we finally kept egging him. Well, she kept egging him, and finally he was like, "Okay, fine."
Yeah. And so the part that I heard from him was that he was mentally checked out of the relationship for probably at least a year prior to him actually breaking up with her. I was like,
That
that's
relationship,
crazy.
from what I've heard, was messy.
It was, yeah.
It was
that's
messy.
to put it nicely. And he then said that he wasn't planning on dating anybody until after he graduated college. Starts dating somebody 4 months later. Anyways, so he is told that we should get together. I'm told that we should get together. And I'm kind of like, I don't know anything about this man's. He's emotionally unavailable. No, thank you. He's like, I don't want to date anybody until after college. No, thank you. Somehow he changes his mind. And one day he comes up to my dorm as Bailey and her then girlfriend are up there because they're kind of like secretly texting about it. And then we therapize him, as we call it, because some of our other besties were also there. And that was fun and dandy. And then the next day we go hang out where he's working at the school. And I'm like, he is kind of cute. He's kind of funny, blah, blah, blah. So then I'm like, maybe I'm not as against it as I've been saying I am. So then we kind of start talking, and we go on some dates. And
You talking about this actually makes me want to throw up.
Thank you. I go over to his house a couple times because he lives 45 minutes away from the school and doesn't have the greatest car, so his parents don't really want him out late all that much. But that was basically the only time that we had because I had classes and he had classes and work and all that fun stuff. So eventually we get together in May. We're still together now, and it's March, so it's been a year, 10 months, and like 2 weeks or whatever, if you're being really specific. But yeah, so that was that.
I have one question for you before we wrap this up.
We didn't talk about spring break.
We can another time.
Yeah.
What is one piece of advice dating? I know you're in a relationship, but dating advice that you would give to your past self?
Oh, that's a good question because I don't think I really changed anything about myself, about the way that I go about things.
I will
'Cause
say,
I'm very laid back.
For me, not that I really did it for constant relationship, besides obviously communication.
Mm-hmm.
I need to work on my own communication. I need to owe my own, I need to owe when I'm doing dumb stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But just from a specific relationship that I should not change myself.
Yeah,
Because
Absolutely.
I feel great now.
Mhm.
Free. Now that I'm not bending over backwards for
Mhm.
a certain person.
That was the other thing that pissed me off about that relationship. You were definitely trying to.
I was trying to change myself. And they weren't trying to change anyway.
Right.
And that was one of my problems.
Mhm.
But whatever. What about you?
Hmm?
Do you have an idea? Like an advice?
I don't think so. I really didn't change anything about myself.
No, but like
relationship to relationship.
Yeah, but don't date a guy that just broke up with your friend, because then obviously they're still gonna keep going back to each
don't
other.
date somebody who's emotionally unavailable, and don't care about so much stuff, because so many people are like, well, I don't want you talking to girls, I don't want you looking at this, I don't want you doing that, blah blah. And I'm like, do you really have the time and patience for that? Realistically, like, if you can't trust your partner to be a faithful partner, why are you with them? That's my thought. Why are you with them if you can't trust them?
Period. Slay.
Hmm?
Alright. Well, this was a little episode,
Mm-hmm.
and
We'll see you next time.
I'm never gonna stop thinking about the fact that you Stevie Nicks and then got Stevie Next.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alright.
Hope you guys all enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you in the next one.
Have a lovely rest of your day. I was going to say afternoon. Lovely rest of your day, whatever time it is of day.
Bye bye.
Good night.